Okay, so it seems like the theme of all the questions comes down to one basic question. What's real? What's real? What's true? Which is a very good question. What is a good question? A good question is a question you're supposed to have. We're supposed to ask that question. What's real? Because not everything you see and not everything you hear and not everything you feel is real. So you got to sort out the real stuff from the noise.
Well timed.
Right. Appropriate choice of word. What is real? I think that there's a positive side to this question that is more popular today than ever, and it's a sign of progress. For example, the question of why am I here? I didn't ask to be born. I don't need this. Is that a good question? Is that a true observation? I didn't ask to be born? Is that true or not?
Yeah.
You didn't ask to be born.
You're just
And if you did ask, you don't remember. So, don't remember asking to be born. So what does that mean? It means I don't need to be born. It's not just I wasn't smart enough to ask, or I don't need it. It's not my project. It's not my thing to be born. So when we take a look, you get old enough to think, and you look around and you say, wait a minute, I don't need this. That is so true. There are people who never notice. They think they need this. I need this, I need that, I must, I have to go, I have to. No, you don't. So when somebody comes along and says, well, you have to keep Shabbos, you have to do it. I don't even have to be here. Don't add stuff to already unnecessary life. I'm completely unnecessary, but I have to get up and I have to go and it doesn't make any sense. How can I have to do something when I don't even have to be? So if you resent being, and then somebody says, well, not only are you forced into being, but you got to get up and do such and such. That's already that's too much. Too much. You obviously don't understand that I don't need to be here. So what happens is that even young kids, 11-year-old, 12-year-old, they're insisting, I don't need this, I don't care about this. And the parents say, oh yes you do. Who's right?
Kid.
Yes. So arguing, no, you have to, you must. No. And you're not going to convince me otherwise because you're wrong. I don't need this. So what are you going to do? Waste your life? Maybe. I didn't ask for this. That is so true. And it used to be that we were afraid of this question. Because, you start thinking like that, you're gonna become suicidal. It's a dangerous question. So an 11-year-old says, I didn't ask to be born. And everybody panics. Why can't you just admit that he's right? In fact, how come you didn't figure that out? You're an adult. And you never figured out that you didn't ask to be born?
Because they might think it's true. And that's scary.
Who might?
Adults.
Think that what's true? That you really don't need?
Kids don't
why is
put
that
much
scary?
thought into it. Adults will put more thought into it
and convince themselves of all sorts of stuff that isn't true.
Commit suicide.
Thinking if it's true or not doesn't really
child
matter.
is less likely
It's
to
just
act
like
on
if
that.
you don't believe in ghosts or whatever it is, you believe in it doesn't change the fact that it's still there. So you could, parents or whatever can think it's true or not. It's not going to change the fact that it is true. So you might as well just answer the question instead of avoiding it your whole life.
Right.
It's not going to help anything.
Right. So when a kid says, I didn't ask to be born, what should the parent say?
I didn't either ask to be born. No, like, it's true, the parents, as much
The
as
parents should apologize, actually.
Yeah, the parents should apologize.
I'm sorry, we didn't
What
mean
they should
to.
say is, you didn't ask to be born, but you were born either way. So you might as well make the best of it.
Ooh, that sounds so...
The most dangerous time to have this thought, in my opinion, is in your teenagehood. Because you're likely to act on it and...
Teenagehood.
You said a word. Teenagehood.
That's a good word. Teenagehood.
I'm an adolescent.
You don't ask to be born, but
Right.
you don't. It's not your choice as in this physical world.
Right. So the question is...
The thing is, you weren't asked to be born.
Right.
You are here.
Right.
So make the best of it.
Oh, so what does it mean to make the best of it? Like, drag yourself through life since you got it anyway, might as well. It's like,
That's not making the best of it. Making the best of it is being happy, but not actually happy. Like, money isn't going to make you happy. All
Right.
these people in upper class, they can be happy, but that doesn't mean that that's not because they have money. That's not because they have things. It's because they found the person they love. They found their family, and that could happen to anyone. It does happen to everyone.
so love is a solution?
Not just love. Love could be very painful. The solution is happiness and love, and making the best of the bad situations.
Make the best of a bad situation.
That's so easy. Fine. I could also do that. I break my leg, but at least God said I break my leg, so I should be happy.
And now you're mad.
So it's like, it's not true.
You don't specifically have to. Even if you don't really believe in God, it's
not even believing God. It's very
I know.
simple. We didn't ask to be here, okay?
Yeah,
so
but we're
Why
here.
make us suffer?
You can't change that.
okay, you're here. Fine, you're here.
You can.
There's two ways to look at it. You're
can
here,
change it.
and you could do the best out of it, which I don't know how. Girl, you tell me how to do that. And then there is, or just keep asking questions and find an answer.
You could do that.
And I don't think just saying like being happy is
questions
gonna
don't have an
solve
answer.
everything. It's not.
It's not going to solve everything.
Because being
not, but
happy,
it's better than
being
being
happy, I
sad.
feel like is a very false concept.
Not everything is always going to be solved. There's always going to be something unsolved. That's just how life is. There's always going to be some pain there. There's
And
always
you
gonna
think
be
happiness is
something.
just gonna cover all of that?
No, it's not going to.
So it's not.
Okay.
So what will cover it?
It does not cover.
Maybe
It's
the
like,
point of life
you need
isn't to be
everything. You need everything.
But
point of
being
life is to
sad won't
fight
cover it.
for happiness.
Yeah, this
Okay,
is a discussion. Like, we're supposed to...
Oh, I want to hear what's going on in your head. But there was a woman in the community who was desperately trying birth control, and nothing she tried worked. She tried this, she got pregnant. She tried something else, got pregnant. She tried this, got pregnant. And one day she said, I have all these unwanted children. I said, wait a minute. Your children are the most wanted because you tried everything to prevent them from being born and nothing was going to stop them from... So obviously they are so necessary. More than the average kid. So, of course, we don't need this. But then, what's the rest of the story? If I didn't ask to be born, what's the rest of the story? My mother decided to. If you complain to your mother, I didn't ask for this, your mother can say, well, I didn't plan to have you. I was trying to have some other kid in me.
Ask so many questions.
And then the other kid will say that to you.
And then you showed up. I don't know.
And the other kid will say the same thing.
How do you know?
So-
She doesn't have the other kid.
But they could, if they could.
I'm sure the other kid is someplace saying the same thing.
Exactly.
So what is the story? The first thing is, very holy people, very godly people are what they are because they know that they didn't ask for it. In other words, knowing that I didn't ask to be born doesn't have to be a depressing thought. It's just the beginning of a realization. So the first thing is, I didn't ask to be born. True. continue. But, so. So it can be depressing if you stop right there. I didn't ask to be born, so everything is a burden. Everything is too much. Why do I have to do this? Why do I have to do that? I don't even want to be here. So it's depressing. Or it is very liberating. The greater the person is, the more comfortable he is with the fact that he didn't ask to be born. And not asking to be born actually enables you to be much greater than you think. And people who don't realize that they didn't ask to be born, they're tiny people. They're petty. They're silly. They're trying to prove something, they're trying to accomplish something, and it's just sad to watch them struggle. So the beginning of greatness is realizing I didn't ask to be born. It's not bad news. The sad part is that for most of history, only great people asked, why am I here? And I didn't ask to be born. The good news is that today, everybody knows it. It has become just a fact of life. But give me a few minutes, just describe this picture. I didn't ask to be born, which means I don't need. Period. I don't need. Most of psychology, psychiatry, it all deals with your needs. You need something desperately and you're not getting it, and that's why you're miserable, and that's why you need therapy, and that's why you need... And then a kid comes along and says, well, wait a minute. I don't need anything. I need love. I didn't ask to be born and then need love. So, no, I don't need love. I don't need to be here at all. So I need food. Well, not really. Because if I hadn't been born, I wouldn't need this food. So all the needs that I have, I resent. I didn't ask to have those needs, which means I don't, all these needs that I have, I don't need. Or I need it like a hole in the head. I need to eat, I resent that. I need to sleep, I resent that. I need to go to school, I resent it. Because I didn't ask for this. But the positive, empowering idea behind it is, I don't have needs. I am not the problem. That makes sense? If I don't have needs, then I'm not the problem. So stop fixing me. I have no problems because I don't need. Oh, but you need. No, I don't. But you got it. No, I don't. And you can't convince people. They argue with you. Yes, you do. You need this. You must have that. No, I don't. Like that expression, you know, that outfit or those shoes, those boots, it's to die for. No, I don't need it. So the obvious next question is, if I didn't ask to be born, and therefore I have no needs, well then life is not about me. It's really not about me. So stop looking at me, stop pointing at me, stop telling me it's not about me. And I think that deep down inside, that's what children are saying when they say, leave me alone. You really want to be left alone? No, I don't want to be alone. But leave me alone, and that means stop making it about me. It's not about me. Leave me out of it. It's a very smart and true observation. If it's about me, then I quit. Because I didn't ask for this. Leave me out of it. So everybody's trying to convince you that your life is all about you. You got to be a mensch, and you got to do this, and you need to do that. And you're saying, leave me out of it. And you're right. Because life is not about you. In fact, thinking that life is about you is not only not true, it's not even nice.
So what is it about?
Ah, that is such a good question. But nobody's going to figure out what it's about as long as they keep thinking it's about me.
But
So what are you going to do? Waste your life? Why, is that so horrible? Come on, you can't do that. Oh, I can't? Watch me. So all this language that it's so not true. So here's the point. Did God give you life so that you will have life? Does that make any sense whatsoever? God gave you life so that you could live. That's such nonsense. God gave you a life today so that you can have a life tomorrow. And you'll have a life tomorrow so that you can have a life the day after. It's just ridiculous. But think of it in a bigger picture. Why do you enjoy love?
Enjoy what?
Love.
Makes you feel good. Makes you
And
have a
that's its purpose?
Like, no, it like
because
you want to be here then.
Especially being loved by someone you know you mean something to them.
Right.
So you're not totally worthless.
So why did God give me the capacity to enjoy love? So that I'll enjoy love?
because we were born and right.
It's not for me. God gave me an appreciation for love so that I can understand how you feel. It's not for me. As soon as you start thinking, love is for me, respect is for me, life is for me, success is for me,
Why can't you think like that?
because it doesn't make sense.
No, but humans are made to be selfish. Like we're all selfish. But you're saying we're here and we're supposed to be selfless.
Why can't I think I can be successful?
You could, but is it? No, I don't like.
You're not being selfish.
No, yeah, you're basically trying your whole entire life to be selfless. Doesn't make you selfish.
Why do you need to be someone? You already are something.
No. Why should you be selfless? Why?
Because everything's
Because
for God.
doesn't only benefit other people, it benefits you, but you can also think about yourself.
No, follow the logic here. Why should I be selfless? Because I don't need this.
You don't need it.
To be selfish is ridiculous. I need, give me. Whoa, I don't need. Don't give me, leave me alone. So it doesn't make sense to be selfish. And then turn around and say, well, I didn't ask for this. Yeah, you're asking for it. You're being selfish. So being selfish is simply a lie. It's like saying, my life is about me. No, it's not. You didn't even ask for it. So how can it be about you? So it's like you're born selfless, and then you're taught to be selfish. And then one day you realize, this doesn't make sense. It's a contradiction. Don't you want to be successful? No. Don't you want to have more money? No. Well, yeah. No. And then you just... So what does it mean to be selfless? To be selfless means I don't need.
Can I point out?
So if you need, I'm available because I'm so available because I don't have a selfish life because I didn't ask for this. You see what I'm saying? So realizing I don't need this is so liberating. If you don't need, then you can change the world.
No.
So what are you here for?
You're saying that you don't need anything, but you're going to keep giving people. You're not going to give anything to yourself.
That's all.
Because you don't need.
But we do.
It's not like, it's not like I have a bunch of needs that I'm going to ignore or repress, that whole psychological stuff, because I'm going to be busy taking care of other people and ignoring myself. You're not ignoring yourself. You're understanding yourself best.
But that's still not a life everyone is going to choose to live.
Okay, fine. You choose to live this life. So what are you doing? Are you just like sweeping the floor? Like what are you doing? So you're not satisfying yourself, which means you're not doing stuff for yourself. Okay, get it. It's not about you.
Do you get it?
I'm trying to get it. It's not about you. Fine, it's not about you.
What does that mean? You can't have what you want?
No, it means you don't need it. As you said, you don't need it. You don't need those really cute shoes from Forever 21. Okay, fine. So what are you doing? Why are you here? You didn't choose. You don't need anything. What are you here for?
Answer?
To give to other people.
That's the answer.
But I don't. Not
To be
everyone wants
selfless.
to always be helping.
But
other
to
people.
give
Wanting
someone
to be
else,
a big
you need to
businessman.
give to yourself.
But then don't they give to you? Isn't it like a two-way thing?
can't expect it.
Everyone's
You can't
here to
expect
give,
it, but
and everyone gives
if I
everyone.
give nice, she'll give nice. I'm not explaining it.
No, the world
And it's
isn't
only
like
one way
that.
thing.
No, but that's what it is.
No,
Because you're being
Everyone
selfless.
is someone, right? I'm me in my own way. She's her in her own way. So it's not like, I'm the only one that really, or like the person that is them is the only one that really, is the center of everything. It's like, so everyone is connected. So if I, meaning me and everyone else in this room, because to them they're themselves, don't need anything, then we're all giving to each other. So it's sort of
well, a bunch of useless, unnecessary
sort of
creatures.
pointless.
Right.
Just like imagine a bunch of like brainless people just constantly giving, not like doing anything,
like,
just like giving.
I don't need anything.
Yeah, here, take my
Y'all don't
gold,
need
take my
anything.
silver.
So, but we're still
Egyptians
giving
and
each
Ethereum.
other everything.
Right.
So it's sort of like,
Sounds ridiculous.
it's sort of pointless.
Yes.
Yeah, there you go. That's the answer.
What can I do for
getting it
you?
either
Nothing.
way.
What can I do for you? Nothing.
No, what I'm saying, like, we're
But
already...
if we have nothing for ourselves, what do we have to give?
Because from other people. We
But we're not gonna accept it.
we all
we
have
don't need
nothing to
anything.
give. We have
So it just keeps going in circles.
to give, as in, we don't need anything to give. We don't need anything.
Yeah, this is getting more and more depressing.
Can I point out a different way of looking at it? If we're didn't ask to be born, right? Fine, but we were born. So therefore, we are human. You're sort of, in the way you were looking at it, you're sort of taking out the part that the simple fact that we're physical and we're humans from nature, and we're not like only. You're sort of looking at it as like a cognitive way. But the fact is, we're still also down here. We're still actually attached to the ground. So therefore, we were born, and in essence, in idea, we still do have needs. However you want to exactly put it. So we do need love. I mean, we might not say need as an actual idea, but we are here. God created us the way He created us. So I might not really need to dress up, but does that mean? But I also.
But I need to dress up.
Yeah, the fact that I don't need it, I don't need to, but I need it. It's a different way of looking at it.
Yeah.
How do you live? How do you live? If you don't need anything, how do you live?
You don't need anything.
You accept the fact
So
you don't
happy.
need it.
Let him answer.
So happily.
So how you don't need anything. Never.
Can you imagine?
Food, water, air.
That's great.
It's a terrible life.
Water. Oh, okay.
All right, so here's the
If
fact.
you don't,
Here's the example. The woman who tried birth control because she didn't really want the child, but the child was born. What does that tell you about this child?
He was meant to be.
Very meant to be, right? In other words, the mother didn't want the child. Somebody did.
The child wanted the mother, maybe.
But the,
No,
The
the-
child
and the
doesn't
child
want the
didn't-
mommy.
Yeah, and the child didn't choose to be born either. So the more we realize how we don't need to be here, the more we realize how essential it is for us to be here. Because if I don't need it and I didn't ask for it and it happened anyway, what is this power that forces me into existence?
So the child is gonna prove the mom wrong. Like,
For sure, right? So here's the point. If I don't need and I didn't ask and God created me anyway, well, what conclusion do you come to? I don't need to be here, but He makes me be here.
So you do.
He needs me desperately. He needs me desperately because I asked Him not to create me, but He didn't listen. It's like, don't love me, And you love me anyway? Wow, you really love me. So I'm saying, no, I don't need to be born. And God's saying, yes, you do. So no, I don't. Well, then he must really need me seriously. So here's the point. Of course I am necessary. And of course I'm real. But what makes me necessary and what makes me real? I didn't ask. Which means I'm more real than if I had asked. I am bigger than my needs because I don't have any needs. So some need makes me exist, and it's not my need. So I am essential to somebody already before I make friends. I'm essential to God. So the fact that he created me tells me two things. He created me, which means I don't need this.
But he does.
But it also means he needs this. Right? So it turns out like this. There's only one real need that a human being has. And that is to be needed. I don't have needs, but somebody must have a need because otherwise I'm not needed. And I only exist to be needed. I don't exist for my needs. Which explains almost everything, because no one will ever get everything they need if they're needy. So if life means you have needs, you're needy, try to fix it. Oh, that's so miserable. So God created me with needs, and I have to figure out a way to satisfy those needs. And they never work, because I really don't need. So the only thing that is real is to be needed.
And what do you do once you're needed?
You help.
You do what you need it for,
But
and then everything makes sense.
When you're needed, like you're helping someone, right? And you're not helping yourself first, what are you going to help them with?
That's all you need is to be needed, so you are. You're fine. As long as I know who needs me, because I don't, then life makes sense.
Okay, so what if no one needs you?
Oh, then why are you here?
Okay, here we go. But,
Kill yourself.
Okay, what about only kill myself? Fine, there's a God, he needs me, but what if there's no actual human that needs me? Then I don't have a benefit to this world. If he needs me to sweep the floor, I'll sweep the floor. But is there actually a human that needs me to sweep the floor? No. I'm
So
giving
it
example.
turns out that part of his need, a huge part of his need, is that you take care of somebody else.
That means they need. Ha! No, I thought no one needs.
No.
They need.
No. They can claim that they don't need. And they should. And yet you should be there to provide whatever it is that makes their life easier. That's not why they're there. That doesn't explain the purpose of life. But if I can make your existence a little easier, for me, that's life. Now, if you don't need it, then you're better off than I thought. That's not bad news, that's good news. Eventually, when Mashiach comes, we will not need each other. Not for learning, not for support, for security. We won't. Because we'll all have a direct connection to God, and we will know what we're here for. So the interdependence will be less.
So why don't we all die? If nothing is needed after, Mashiach comes, we don't need anyone. We don't have Hashem, and then we really don't need anything because we really don't need anything. Why don't we just all die?
Because that's not what he needs.
But he doesn't need anything anymore.
Mashiach
came. Like, all good happened. Peace in the world and love, and sheep are petting each other. That's fine. So,
that's weird.
I know. But I'm saying then why don't we all die and go to heaven and be even closer? We're done this, or doesn't the mission
This
ever
is
stop?
closer than heaven. Much closer than heaven.
So when people pass away, where are they?
In a holding pattern, waiting to come back here.
So it's better to be alive than dead.
Good thought.
So why are people so willing to like want to die so badly?
Because they don't know what's after.
Know what's after, but there's nothing after.
Who wants
But
to
sometimes
die?
a holding cell is better
There's
than
people that are like,
death.
well, it's not worth living, or no one needs me. Oh, here we go again. Here we go. Bring it
By the
on.
way, it is selfish to help people because you're doing it to feel something, like to feel good about yourself.
That is so nice. If you
No.
feel good about yourself because of someone else,
That means that you're doing it for you.
You're benefiting
not doing
someone
it for
else,
them.
too.
For them, but you're getting,
no,
you're feeling good about it.
no.
No, I
It's
find that
probably in a
selfish.
way just a bonus.
When you see someone succeed and you feel really good about it, that's selfish.
No, when you help someone
Fine.
and then you say, I'm happy that I helped them because I feel good now. Not that because
So
they
you can-
benefited, but because you benefited.
Okay, so you're using people.
Yeah, that's so
That's
messed
not
up,
nice.
and I think that that's
not actually
how it
That's how
works.
everyone does it.
No, because humans are selfish.
Okay, so the first
No.
lesson.
No, just do it when
We
you
don't need it.
actually mean it, when it's real.
Miserable.
The first lesson. Yeah, the first lesson that we get from Pirkei Avos. Don't be like a servant who serves his master for the reward. Be like a servant who serves his master without a reward. Why would anyone serve anyone without a reward?
Because they love them, they respect them.
No, because this is how life. You never know if you're gonna get a reward, so you do it anyways, knowing without a reward.
And hoping that there will be.
Yeah, hoping, but we always hope.
No.
Because we trust them enough. Because our need in this world is to be needed.
So, what is, I mean, you could say a servant who serves his master without thought of a reward, that's not even true. His reward is that he can serve his master. So if he really respects his master and he can do something for his master, does that not feel good? And is that not your reward? But if making him happy makes you happy, that is not selfish. That's fantastic. Why would your happiness depend on somebody else if you were selfish?
Well, at this point, it's the only reward you're getting is that other person's happiness.
Which is all you need, because that's why you're doing it, to make him happy. Now, does that feel good? Yeah, it feels good because now you're real. So let me tell you this little story that happened. This 14-year-old kid in Minneapolis, with a friend or maybe two friends, they decided to kill themselves. And they tried.
It's a great sport.
Yeah, you only get one shot at it. Then.
Sure.
So,
Good luck with the next game.
I know you could go skydiving without a parachute, but only one time.
yeah.
That's sad.
Such a bad thing to laugh at.
That's what they say, the suicide bombers. Somebody said to them, yeah, that's really very nice, but, you don't get to do it again. So it's a very short career. So these kids tried to kill themselves, and one of them ended up in the county hospital, in the psych ward, for observation.
Did any of them actually die?
No.
No.
But they always, sent to different places. This kid ended up in the psych ward of the hospital, and the psych ward is like a prison.
Why did they want to kill themselves?
Good question. We'll get to that in a second.
Bit sudden.
Yeah.
Yes, me.
And so the mother, the boy's mother, called me because no one is allowed to visit there. It's literally like a prison. You have to have clearance. You have to have all sorts of stuff. And I had been there a few times, and it is really a nasty, scary place. Because they're holding people there for 48 hours to determine whether they should be in prison for the rest of their lives or in therapy for the rest of their lives. So they're dangerous people. And a 14-year-old kid in that place was like a scary thought. So the mother was desperate to find out what's going on, and the only people allowed up there are clergy. So she calls me and says, would I visit her? So of course I went. I get off the elevator, double barred doors, one doesn't open till the other one locks, and you have to, you have to check for weapons. And,
What's a clergy? What's a clergy?
A priest or a rabbi.
Oh, okay.
So I get off the elevator, and two male nurses are wrestling this guy to the ground, putting him in handcuffs, and everybody's standing around shouting like banshees, like they're all... So I run to the kid's room, and he's lying in the bed, listening to all this screaming, doesn't care, doesn't bother him, doesn't scare him. He's like in camp. So I try to talk to him. He's not interested. He's reading this book, and he doesn't even look up. I tried. He's ignoring me. I said, how are you? Your mother asked me to come visit you. She's very worried. What should I tell her? So I try, and this kid is just completely... Finally, he says, why don't you go home? The chaplain has already been here. I said, what did the chaplain say? He says, something stupid. I said, I'm curious. Why did he say that was stupid? He says, the chaplain said I shouldn't kill myself because God loves me. So I said, that's stupid? He says, yeah. I said, I agree. I can't imagine God loves you. You're obnoxious. So he looks up. And he says, yeah. I said, look, God created you. He obviously needs you. You're a piece of the puzzle. And, there's something that only you can do for him that nobody else can. So, unfortunately, he's stuck with you. I don't think he likes you. So he says, well, what if I don't want to do what he created me for? I said, well, that's called freedom of choice. You can do it, or you can refuse. But say something. You want to, you don't want to. Take a position. Anyway, I realized that he was so right. After thinking about it afterwards, I went, whoa. He is so right. To come to a person who tries to kill himself and say God loves you is so stupid. Because he and his friends tried to kill themselves for no particular reason. Not like their lives are so miserable that they can't stand it. They were bored. Because they're convinced that they're not necessary. So what? Either I'll live or I won't live. I'll be here or I won't be here. Difference. What's the difference? So by trying to kill himself, he made a strong statement to the world, I am not necessary. And the chaplain comes along and says, well, maybe, but God loves you. That is so stupid.
What does that have to do with the fact if I'm necessary or not? And now I get in connection.
Because if I'm not necessary, what are you loving?
No, I'm saying, that's
So
my
it's like-
point. Well, what does the...
It's like, what do you love? What do people love that they don't need?
A lot of things.
Some food.
Like food, chocolate,
People.
pets.
No.
No.
Please don't say that.
You need a pet?
Yeah.
Yeah. I really do.
You love a pet.
Can I say something?
So when you say to a human being, I don't need you. You're so cute. Hey, I'm not your pet. So if you don't need me, love is not going to make up for it. Love is good if you're necessary, you have an important job, and you're working at your job, and people love you for it. That's great. But you don't have a job, you're not really necessary, you don't need to be here, but somebody loves you. No. No deal. We need to be needed much more than we need to be loved. Or in different words, we need to do the loving more than we need to be loved. Because when I'm doing the loving, I'm necessary. When I'm getting love, so what? Didn't ask for this. So here's the complete picture. Since I don't need and I didn't ask for this, tell me who did. If I can't figure out who does need me, then I'm stuck. I'm nowhere. If I figure out who needs me, then I know why I'm here. If I know why I'm here, I have the option. I can do what I'm needed for, and then I feel like normal, like real. Or I can say, no, I don't want to do that, and go find some other excuse for existing and for being. Good luck. So the Torah comes along and says, the first thing you need to know is what God needs. Figuring out what you need isn't going to get you anywhere. Because eventually you're going to realize you don't need this. So God comes and says, let me give you a head start. I didn't create you because you need it. I created you because I need.
So God is the most selfish of us all.
Yes.
Well, that's okay because he's God.
Yeah, but we're
So
always
I don't
taught
need, he doesn't need either.
God is like unconditional kindness and all of that stuff, and it's like, but really he's
What
just
is-
selfish and he's using us.
What is unconditional kindness?
on the check.
What is unconditional kindness?
No,
is
no
that?
matter what.
What does that feel like? What does that look like?
Any,
I don't know.
with no. But he is giving us something in return.
What, life?
Yeah.
But we don't need anything. But he needs us here.
Life
Yeah.
could please him.
So it doesn't benefit us at all.
We're not his
Supposed to.
kids, we're his servants.
Supposed to
benefit
We're the pawns on the chessboard.
What?
We're his servants that he learns to love.
He doesn't learn to love.
So he just
already
kills
loves.
us when he's done. He's like, okay, I'm done. So you finally got happy in this world. Well, just
Oh,
take it
bye!
away. That's
Just
really
when you're getting comfortable.
That's really good. That's really good.
We're not even supposed to be comfortable here.
I know. So let's not live. Let's not wear coats. Let's get.
I know, I don't want to live in a shack.
Okay, so before we get totally depressed,
Where are my antidepressants? I'll just
Yeah.
leave them around.
is there somebody that you feel like you really need that person?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Try to describe, what does it mean you need somebody? What does that mean?
They make you
feel
a
good.
better person.
You don't know how to live without them. You can't imagine
They
life without them.
complete you.
But if they came out, if they
don't-
came to
if
you
you're
in
just
the
not the
middle
same
of your
without
life,
them.
then
You're not the same without them. Is that selfish?
It's not like I'm expecting
That
them
is
to do
selfish.
things for me.
That
Yeah.
is selfish.
It is?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, you're
You're
expecting them
not
to
the
love
same
you.
without them.
Yeah. I want them because of the way
But
they
they'll love
make
me if they want to. I'm not expecting them to love me. If they don't love me, they don't love me.
But it's,
feel. Wait, no, that's not real love if you only love them because of the way they make
So
you
one second. If
feel. That's just
I'm,
loving the feeling,
I'm
not the
asking whether you
person.
need this person. I'm not asking whether you want love from the person.
no, you don't need this person because you don't need anything.
So what does it feel like when you need somebody? Does it feel selfish?
No.
yeah.
The very statement, I need you, isn't that the most humble statement in the world?
So you're admitting to other people that you can't live without them.
Imagine someone
Is
admitting
that
that
not
to you.
humble?
How would you feel?
What are you supposed to tell them?
You kind of feel kind of like you about yourself, like someone needs you.
No, because then you can't just be like, do whatever you want.
I do know that people
Now you
don't
gotta
kill
be selfless
themselves.
too.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, bummer.
Now you got what?
So let's sum this up so that we come away with something. What's with God? He's almighty, he's all-powerful, he's all-knowing, he's infinite, he's eternal, he always was and always will be, and he needs you?
No.
So why are we here for? Here we go. Then what are we doing? If he doesn't need us, what are we doing?
Well,
He's everything, we're nothing. What do we need it
But
for
he
then?
created,
Okay.
so he'll have to need us.
Exactly, but he doesn't need us. So what are we
But
doing?
he does because he created.
We're here to be
No, but he's
servants. We're here to praise
So
him
hold
and
on,
say,
hold
oh
on.
God, Lord,
So he
you're amazing.
decided when he was born, so he decided to make a
this is-
world and he needs us.
This is where people get really confused and hung up.
I wonder why.
Because there's a difference between needing something or needing someone. God is perfect, which means that he doesn't need anything. When you're perfect, you don't need anything, including love, because love is a thing. God is perfect, which means he doesn't need anything.
But you can want it
So why did he create the world?
because we're not a thing.
That's right. Because he needs someone. He doesn't need something. So people say, well, how can he need you if he's perfect? That's the point. Because he's perfect, he needs you, not something from you. So when you feel like, I need that person, what do you need? Their money?
We need them.
Their honor? If they love you, then it means that you're important? No, you're not trying to get anything. You just want that person in your life in addition to you. Because you, not enough. So you don't need anything because you is perfect. But you is alone.
So you alone is selfish and wants to be
No.
perfect with someone else.
No.
How do we know?
The fact that I'm not enough is the most humble statement in the world. So what if I am? Where are you? That's called needing someone, not something from someone. And that's what marriage is supposed to be. Marriage doesn't mean I need you to... I don't need you to anything. I just need you. So let me give you a painful example. There was this actor who played Superman in the movies. The man was gorgeous, perfect human being. But he wasn't good at riding horses, and he fell off a horse.
And it's paralyzed.
And he broke his neck, and he was paralyzed from his neck down. His wife took care of him for many years, and then he died. So his wife was crying and grieving and upset. You imagine asking her, what are you crying? What are you crying about? The man was useless. So ask her, what did you get from him for the last 10 years? Nothing. What did he do for you in the last 10 years? Nothing. So what was he good for? Nothing. So what are you crying about? What would she say?
Because I needed him. But she had him, so...
And now he's gone.
No, because now... Oh, okay, there you go.
She would say, I had him, now I don't have him. But what were you getting from him?
Nothing. You're just him. Just him being there was...
Yes. Yeah. So if I'm trying to get something from him, then it's, yeah, that's selfish. But I didn't want anything from him. I just wanted him to be. And now he's not. That's how God created us. He doesn't need anything. He's God. So we get confused. Well, if he doesn't need anything, then he doesn't need me. No. You're not a thing. When does God need someone? When he's already perfect. Because if you're not perfect, then you need stuff to make you perfect. But when you are perfect and you need nothing, now you can need someone for no reason. So the slogan should be, there is nothing you can get from your husband that is more important than your husband. Nothing about your husband is more important than your husband. So when God created us, after being perfect, you can't call that selfish. That's the ultimate lack of selfishness. I'm perfect, I'm everything, I'm everywhere, and it's not enough. So what do you want? You want to be more perfecter? You can't be more perfecter. You want to get older, stronger, bigger? Can't. So what do you want? I don't want to be just me. I want you to exist also. And in order for you to exist, not as part of me, you have to have free choice. You have to be able to tell me that you don't want me, you don't like me, and you don't need me. Otherwise, you're just an angel and an extension of me. So what does God love about us?
Us.
That we are not him. That's it.
So he hates himself.
He has issues.
I thought he was perfect.
I once told somebody, I said, God needs your mitzvahs. And he said, I thought God was perfect. I said, yeah, well, he used to be. Started up with us and we've made him crazy. We drove him nuts. He's not been the same since. Can you imagine a guy knocks on your door and says, I'm starving. I haven't had anything to eat. Can you give me something to eat? And you say, I don't need this. Can you imagine saying that? Oh, I don't need this. Did anybody say you needed this? Was this conversation about you? A guy says, I'm starving. And you say, I don't need this? Of course you don't need this. He's starving. So you would never say, what do I need this for? Because you know this is not about you. You're not starving, he's starving. So the same is true with marriage. A guy tells me, I have to take care of my wife and I have to be nice to her. I don't need this. No, being nice to her means she needs it. That isn't anything you need to take care of her. She needs to be taken care of. Can we get off you and think about her for a minute? So, what keeps people from being available to others? Selflessly. What prevents you from doing that? Because you're hung up on, do I need this? Let's get one thing clear. You don't need anything, all right? Now can you be available to somebody?
Yeah.
So what drives people crazy? The thought that I need and I'm not getting. Hey, if I can't get what I need, I quit. You don't need. What are you getting upset about? And you actually hear people say that. You know, if I can't, then I don't want to live. Oh, by the way, I didn't ask to be born. So you just contradicted yourself. It's a comfortable thought. I don't need. It's so true, it's so real, and it's so positive. Because the biggest problem between people is that I need. And you don't need what I need, so I hate you. That's where all the problems begin. When we convince ourselves that we need when we don't need. So if it's not real, it's not going to work.
So it's possible you don't need anyone's help.
Yeah. Because I'd much rather help you than have you help me.
Exactly. So no one needs anything.
What a perfect world.
I love it. Should have been here sooner.
That's what's going to happen when Mashiach comes. What do you think Mashiach is going to do? He's simply going to say, hello, did you notice that you don't need anything? Or is that too deep for you? Too philosophical? No, you don't need. So when God says, but I need you to do a mitzvah, great, I got nothing better to do. And that's what hineni means. Hineni means I'm not employed. So if you have a job for me, I'm glad to hear it. Because So when God comes and says, I need you to do 613 things, it's like, wow. That's really good news, because I can't think of 613 things I need. So I'm really glad you need me, because that's the only thing I really have to know. That you need me and what you need me for. That's what tzaddikim are made of. A tzaddik is somebody who realizes, I'm not here for me, so let me be here for him. Today, every shmendrik, every kid has the attitude of a tzaddik. They just don't know the other half of the story. But every kid is halfway to the truth. That is such a huge accomplishment. Because think about all the arrogant monsters of history. They had to have. That's what messes up everything. So somebody once said, Americans are the most confused people in the world because they realize that they don't need anything, but they get very upset if you interfere with them. Like, we have freedom. Freedom. Don't take away my freedom. Okay, you got your freedom. Where do you want to go? Oh, I don't know. I don't know where to go. I don't. Okay, so I'll tell you where to go. No, don't tell me where to go. I have my freedom. So we're very tortured people. It's like, I am so free, I can't think of anything to do. Because what's important? So we're halfway there. We have the freedom, and now we can't figure out what to do with it. So when you realize, I don't need anything, you're half a tzaddik. Just figure out the other half. So when you get married, it's because you're not perfect. You need him to fix you.
No. That's why we don't get married now, because now we feel the need of someone else, then we won't.
No,
Right?
no one's ever perfect.
Now,
I know, but
No one's
more-
ever fixed.
You need them just to be there, for you to be you, and you taking them for them. I don't know what I'm saying. I don't know. I'm not married. I'll tell you when I'm married. I don't know.
yeah, how are you going to get there? So here's the thing. As long as you need to become better, as long as you need to become stronger, then you're going to marry somebody for what they do to you, not for them. When are you really ready to get married? When you just don't want to be any better. You're done. I am what I am, and I'm fine. Now bring somebody else into my life, because I'm finished talking about myself. That's what I tell people who are thinking, am I ready to get married? So look, in the morning when you look in the mirror, are you excited by what you see? Are you fascinated? Do you examine yourself? Then don't get married. But if you look in the mirror one day and you say, same, every day, same thing.
So that means I'm ready to get married now.
I'm ready to get married. Because, oh no, not you again. I know you.
But they do. When you get married, you do learn from that
We're
person.
talking about marriage now.
Of course. And when you serve God, he will reward you. But that's not what it's about.